Hi, welcome to Discuss with Ibrahim Fatoyinbo. On this episode of Discuss with Ibrahim Fatoyinbo, we will be delving into photography and photojournalism. For my student watching, I'm sure we are going to have a swell time and a very tremendous moment. Let's start without further ado. What do you understand by photography? These days, everybody, even when you see advertisement, they no longer tell you maybe the gigabyte, the memory card of a mobile phone. All they'll tell you is for you to take pictures with it. Owing to the fact that everybody loves picture, everybody wants to smile, everybody wants to take picture, everybody wants to preserve their moment. And as a student of communication, photography is one of the key tools for communication. All right, they said a picture is more than 1,000 words, like a Chinese proverb. So it's very important you learn and understand what photography is all about. So what is photography? Photography, as written in text here, is talking about using light to write. So photography is from a Greek word talking about lights and draw, meaning using light to draw. Having said that, photography is a process of writing or drawing with light. Now, our camera is what we use to capture moment, even our mobile phones. So light goes outside. That's why you see your flash. It goes outside, capture moment, and preserve it for us. So that is just the basic definition of what photography is all about. Now, let's talk about the key assumptions of photography. What are the assumptions? What do they say photography is? They say it involves from drawing by hand, carving, and illography. It is a language understood by people of the world. It is aesthetic. Yes, photography, everywhere in the world you see, they love photograph. If you get to anywhere, if you just see anybody just take a selfie, they love to take pictures with you. So photography is aesthetic, meaning like it is beautiful. Also, it informs, it educates, it entertains. So photography can inform you about an event. Photography can also educate you of an event and can also entertain you. All this meme that you see and all those funny faces, they are photographed, but they speak volume and they make sense. So another thing for this course is for us to understand the forms of photograph. Forms of photograph. Number one, there are basic forms of photography. Number one form of photography is photography as representation. Photography as representation. The second one is photograph as form. Photograph as form. Photography as expression. Photography as expression. And the first one is photography as representation, photography as form, photography as expression. So let's talk about photography as representation. Representative or dead dog is the commonly found among all forms of photograph. It is direct representation of object or the subject taken. Under this form of photography, no serious action is required. Now, there's a picture in the particular material that you all have access to. Is that there's a picture there. It's representing a family. You just take picture. They are set there. They have a man which starts as his grandfather, the wife and daughter. The wife and the child they give birth to is an example of that representative or representation photography. And that one is photograph as form. Photograph as form. This form of photography is usually as exposure of nature. All right, they are photograph taken as maybe from a scene. Now, for example, when you take a picture of Olumo Rock, is a form. When you come to the institution and you take pictures of activity, library, they are form. They are strategic places that when you are on campus, that you will want to visit, or that there are significant places on campus. You can't say you attended a particular school. It's just like going to University of Lagos and you don't know Imoremi or you don't know Jaja hostel. They'll say, and you say you went to Unilag. Just like coming to Lagos State University of Science and Technology, formerly LASPO Tech, and you say you don't know activities, they will ask you that, are you sure you're a student of this institution? So photography as expression is also an expressive type of photography. Its photograph should be relevant to journalism at all. Now, this expression is a picture of people queuing for fuel. When you take a picture and you are not even saying anything, and you can just see queue. If you see any queue along the road in Lagos State, you know that there is fuel scarcity here. So it's expressing a particular thing. So that's why we have the three types, which is representation, photography as representation, just representing, maybe taking a family picture. Photography as a form, a strategic places, Olumorok and some other places, and photography as expression. Having said that, let's talk about types of photograph. Don't mix it up. Form of photography is different from types of photograph. All right, so the types of photograph we have, but here there is a preamble. There's a photograph is a desire in the most direct authoritarian humanitarian form, when some collect photography of anonymous example of the desirable as an aid. What they are just saying here is just you can capture photography from different angle. You can be able to pick it. It can be formal, informal. All right, there are some pictures that I can just come in, take pictures. It's not like they are official pictures. There are some that are official and some that are not official. But for the types of photograph, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types of photograph. We have 7 types of photograph. The first one is the formal pictures, informal pictures, action pictures, spontaneous pictures, dramatic pictures, people without people pictures, and quarrel in necessity action picture. Now, what do you understand by formal picture? Formal picture are types of photograph taken with a procedural arrangement or agreement between the photographer and the object. For example, an event is taking place now. You say, oh, sorry sir, please, can you people stay here? I would like to take your picture with this background. Right, so that is a formal, because you are informing your object, you are arranging them. All right, they are not in their natural form. You are arranging them so that you can use a particular background. So we use a formal. So informal picture is a clear contrast to its formal counterpart. All right, so the opposite of formal is informal. So informal is clear contrast. That one is more of what you did not prepare for. All right, there's a picture of Buhari and Obasanjo. You are just going, oh Ibrahim, you are there, you just shook hands with me. It is not prepared. All right, it's not prepared. So that is informal picture, pre-arranged, not pre-arrange it. The third one is action picture. The action pictures, as the name implies, depicts some action on the part of subject. Action pictures, for example, when a footballer just score a goal, you can see the excitement, the facial expression. That is action. You can see when they are doing a movie shoot like House of God, you can see all those their posters is full of action. So those are action pictures to elicit your emotion, to just heighten your spirit, to see, I want to see that movie. I want to see, I think this person is so happy with this goal. So you'll be able to express. Oh, I forgot. A good example of action picture is, guess what? When they propose to you. You know that excitement, like, oh, I think that's, if they capture that moment for you very well, it's an example of action picture. Let's talk about spontaneous action picture. Timeless is the conscience of spontaneous action. Timeless. For example, when it comes to marriage, I know a lot of you love weddings, you love marriage. So there are times that maybe husband and wife are seated and the photographer just capture a moment. Maybe they are teasing themselves and the lady is just blushing, and the photographer was just able to just capture that moment. All right, but they did not prepare for it. That's why we say it is spontaneous. It's not something prepared. It happens quickly, but it has action in it. We have another one called the dramatic picture. Some photographers some photographs are taken on stage during the course of drama performance. All right, it can be synonymous to action picture. You know, I use the House of God as an example. So action picture, we can also peg that as an example of action picture. For example, Odudioba, the guy on horse, his tease and composure, you know, it went viral. That's action. You know, you saw his face, the way he was looking. So from a movie, musical video, they can get a photographer. They're always having photographers on sets too. When they are shooting, they will take certain pictures that they can use for advertisement. So they can call them a dramatic picture. The other one is people without people picture. Certain pictures are taken after an event, maybe an event happened. All right, for example, now, God forbid bad thing, there's a collapsed building and a photographer he went there to go and take pictures. All right, they don't need to tell you that something happened there. That is a people without picture. All right, you just take the pictures and you just like, oh, something terrible has happened here. Another one is quarrel necessitated action picture. Conflict is a determinant of news. As such, they play a vital role in photojournalism. Quarrel necessity action picture are pictures that exhibit conflict. All right, quarrel, as its name implies, it shows conflict, wahala. When you see all these bad governance, hunger protests, it depicts a kind of quarrel. So when you see such pictures like that, you'll be able to so don't forget, we have about 7 types of photograph. Don't forget, forms, they are different from types of photograph. Forms, we talk about representative form, and the last one, let me check, and the last one is expression. That's forms. We have 3, and we have 7 types of photograph, and I have mentioned the first one: formal, informal, action, spontaneous, action pictures, dramatic pictures, people without people pictures, quarrel necessity action pictures. Those are the 7 that we have. What other areas did we also discuss extensively? Is quality of a good photograph. Quality of a good photograph. A good photograph must have clarity. When you take a picture, if you look at it, you say, this picture is blurry, I don't want this picture, take another one. So the quality of a picture is determined by what is clarity. Clarity is an essential ingredient in journalistic. When you take journalistic pictures, it must be clear. All right, it must be clear. Another thing is that it must be relevant. Relevancy is another key thing that you pay attention to when it comes to quality of a photo. Accuracy, your picture must be accurate. You cannot be talking about Don Jazzy and you are putting the video picture there. It doesn't tally. So there must be accuracy when it comes to proper quality of a good photograph. Harmony, a reasonable and publishable photo should be harmoniously placed on the pages of newspaper, of magazine. So pictures must be harmonized. That's why you see on newspaper they write news, features, picture stories. Everything must be planned very well so that it can communicate effectively. Last but not the least, one of the qualities that it must be, factuality is one of the key things that must be paid attention to. Factuality. A photograph, as known, is the most universal form of illustration, which is intended to pass across a message to the audience or enhance credibility of stories. So I have given you the qualities. Let's talk about the importance. Pay attention to this. What are the importance of photograph? Don't forget, this is a question I think you've attempted before. What are the importance of photograph? The invention of photography has positively changed the face of photojournalism and has changed the face of journalism. All right, in all parts of the world, has therefore plays enormous role which cannot be overemphasized. Gone are the days when newspapers don't have pictures. These days, pictures. Some of you, even when your parents punish you to say, okay, go and sit down there and read a newspaper, all you watch out for is to scan through and check pictures, and at the last page, read cartoon story. So importance, number 1, aesthetic value. important. So the feature of a picture, get that right, the feature of a picture in a newspaper must have aesthetic value. That means the picture must be beautiful, must be good. Therefore, the invention of photograph, most newspaper and magazine were not only dull without this before, they were boring. But now that one of the feature of a good photograph, or that is very important for a photograph, is that it must have aesthetic value. The second one is credibility. The most aesthetic facts under the arithmetic, I beg your pardon, the most arithmetic fact under the sun is that which can be shown in photograph. Although pictures can be crazily contravened as a result of technology, they can change, but credibility of picture is very important. That's why they say as you lay your bed, you lie on it. Boba she joko in a photo, the way you sat in a photograph, that's the way you find yourself. And that's why most of you, when you take pictures, say, why is my mouth like this? Why is my neck like this? And don't forget what I keep telling you. Those pictures of 60s in last week, years later, you will wonder like, what was I thinking? Why did I pose the kind of picture that my trouser is bigger and my clothes is small? Or let alone those pictures that you are getting 100 likes as a lady and you're excited like, Omoton, look at me. Tomorrow now, you just see like, and I got 100 likes, but Wigitimolo is fake. So God will continue to be with you anyway. So what we are talking about, the importance of photograph, I've mentioned aesthetic value, credibility, and third one, reality. Photograph depict reality. All right, photograph, one of the beauty of photography is that no matter how it is, it must depict reality. The fourth one, record purpose. Most photographs serve as record purpose. All right, that's where when they visit you, now come and see our wedding picture. Look at it. I remember that day he proposed. So it serves as record purpose. You can make reference to it tomorrow. Do you understand? So don't let the guy propose to you inside the house. So have evidence, or else you will explain tired. So we have preservation of events too. Preservation of events, like in form of souvenir. Photograph helps to preserve event beyond the date of ceremony. Subsequently, put photograph perpetuate event beyond. So when you have preservation of event, when you're having event, Bobby wants to do something, there are pictures that will start going viral. So it helps to create more publicity. It preserves event. Eliminate literacy barrier is another importance of photography. So it eliminates literacy barrier. For example, even if somebody is not educated, when they see a picture and they took it, maybe somebody is wearing white, somebody is kneeling down, and say, they are proposing, without going to school, they are able to depict that. So photography, one of the importance is that it breaks or eliminates illiteracy barrier. Last but not the least is social reformation. Photograph aid the implementation of social reform. Pictures were weapons of persuasion that surpasses the power of words and absolute reality of the photograph. So when you see photograph, it goes a long way. So those are the key importance of photograph: aesthetic value, credibility, reality, record purpose, preservation of event, eliminates literacy barrier, social reformation. Now let's we have been discussing photography. Now let's now talk about the twin, which is photojournalism. Now from the word photo, we are talking about using light to do or to draw. Now you are now using that light to make it more journalistic. That means you are using your camera to make news. What is news? Everything that makes people talk, account of an event. So how do you now use your photography to do or to bring about account of an event? All right, so photojournalism, as its name implies, is made up of two terms: photography and journalism. So it can be defined as a profession that deals with gathering, disseminating of news through photograph. So photojournalism is gathering information with what? Photograph, and disseminating it. And those people that are handling that role is called photojournalists. All right, so photojournalism is the process of telling stories using the medium of photograph as a main storytelling device. You can use your phone to tell a story. All right, so photojournalism these days, it is you using your phone, your camera, to do what? To make news. So you need to understand the difference between what is photojournalism and photojournalist. So don't get it twisted. Photojournalism is using your camera to do what? To capture, to gather, to sniff, to use your camera to become the eyes, the nose, the mouth of the society. Why photojournalist is the person behind the camera using his or her camera to capture moments that is newsworthy. Very important you read this part. What are the qualities of a photojournalist? What are the qualities of a journalist? You know, in class I keep telling you that steeze, composure are things you don't joke with. And I always emphasize also that panache, which is your confidence level, is very important. You don't joke with it as a photojournalist. You are carrying camera, you are fidgeting, they will throw you out. But you want to take pictures, you have this panache, you're standing with authority. You are talking, you are standing with audacity. So the first thing is that a photojournalist must understand what news is. Because if you don't know what news is all about, you can't use your camera to capture it. We all look, but we see differently. So it is very important for you to do what? To be able to understand. That means you must be educated journalistically. You are not there. You must do what? Educated journalistically. Like you, mass communication student. That means you are being fortified with the knowledge of communication. So now, after this kind of course, when you are going on the road, you'll be able to identify that this is newsworthy. Your eyes can identify news. Your ear can identify news. Your mouth can identify news. So first thing, he must have a good sense of picture value. In other words, he must be able to recognize newsy pictures. One thing you need to understand about journalistic is that it is only profession that we don't mind our business. Because as a journalist, our business is to manage other people's business. So when they tell you that, what's your business? Tell them, as a journalist, my business is to manage other people's business, because you are reporting their businesses. So when you have these journalistic instincts, you will be able to identify what makes a news that you can capture. Number one, conflicts. Conflicts which occur between man and nature. Fire outrage, earthquake, flood, collapsed building. When you see a collapsed building, you don't just say, hey, God, oh, you know that is a newsworthy. You capture it. If you ask me, journalism is even going to make you to be a kind of educated and established witch or wizard. You know why? Because while people are crying when there is an accident, you as a journalist, you want to capture the moment. That's what your editor will clap for. You say, wow, you are smart, you capture this moment. And people are crying. It's a profession. It has humanitarian face, but the truth is that you cannot be casting news and be crying. They will send you out. Maybe you already got a job or vacancy in oil company. So for a journalist, a photojournalist, to succeed, you must understand what news is. Conflict, wahala. Immediately you see wahala, just be happy and say, that is a news story. Capture it, send it to the media. They publish and they give you credit. And you can be boasting and say, I took that riot now, where you forgo morale, I took the picture. It even gives you morale. Oh, may God forgive you. So conflict between man, war, you must be. Activities, personality. For example, the president wants to, on the, was it on Independence Day or May 29, wanted to, he missed his leg and he said he double for democracy. Somebody captured that moment. The journalists that took the picture, they will even congratulate it, regardless if the president broke his leg. That is our job. You just have to cover the event. So the qualities of a journalist, you must be versatile. You must be educated, possess knowledge and skill in application. You must be creative. You must be mentally alert. You must be versatile. You must be consistent. Ability to combine. And you must be ethical. Because you have listened to this does not justify you to start taking pictures of your friend inside and say you publish, you'll be sued, because we'll get to the ethics of journalism. So you don't take pictures anyhow, because there are legislation that covers that. Having said that, you need to understand certain things, concepts, all right? Certain concepts in photography. What is a news agency? A news agency basically render news support. They are the conduit pipe that disseminate information to the media. Do you get? We have freelancer is another thing that you need to know. The concept, who is a freelancer, is also very important. Having said all those photography and photojournalism jargons, it is important for you to also note that there are key areas that I want you to go and read, and I won't be able to attend to it in this video. Now, you must understand the ethics of this profession. What is libel? What is slander? All right, you must understand what libel, slander is in journalism. So you must understand some key concepts as you prepare. Understand the features of a camera. You must know everything, or you are just taking picture. You must understand what aperture is. What is the role of aperture? The shutter speed, what you press to capture, the lens. You must know all the part of camera, and you understand their function and functionality if you really want to exceed and sign out in peace. Another thing I want you to learn is pay attention to the types of photo forms that I have mentioned to you. Importantly, you must understand the qualities of a photojournalist. Don't go ahead and overread. Read ethics, the introductory part that I have given you. Understand the parts of camera and the functions. Know the quality of a photojournalist. Know key concepts in photography. Depth of field. What do you understand by depth of field in photography? What do you understand by focal length? Key concept. What do you understand by news agency? What do you understand by photojournalism? All those key concepts are things that you must acquaint yourself with. All right, you must know all those things. What else will I like you to know? Basically, I think that's major things I just want you to go and learn. Understand the key concepts, aperture, photography, everything. Go and learn it. Types of photography forms, know it. Functions of a camera, part of a camera, you must know, because if you are talking about camera, if you are talking about photojournalism and you don't know anything about camera, you must know about the lens, you must know about the aperture, you must know about depth of field, you must know about what else? Well, it's not readily coming, but let it come in your own exam. So don't go and write it's not readily coming for me in your exam, you fail though. So I think that's the basic thing that you just have to understand when it comes to who is a freelancer, who is a photojournalist, who is photojournalism, and every other thing. Distinguished and world-class student, as you prepare for your final examination, I wish you most graciously a wonderful success in your examination, and I hope to see you at the top, because you are meant for the top. All right, so everything I have said in this video, watch it, digest it, and the sky is a starting point for you. So don't forget to share and subscribe to Discuss with Ibrahim Fatoyinbo.